In this video, I'm going to tell you the 5 things I had to stop doing to become a millionaire. When I made the conscious decision to become a millionaire, I had to lose a lot of the old beliefs that I'd been holding on to and adopt a whole new way of seeing the world. And to be honest, I never thought that I could become a millionaire. I didn't grow up around money and don't think I knew anyone who was. It's only in recent years that I thought maybe it could be a possibility for me. Currently, there are 22 million millionaires in the US, and I felt like if I could learn how they got there and apply it to my life, then maybe I could become a millionaire too. Hi, if you're new to the channel, I'm Erika. I'm a lawyer and the CEO of Plug-in Law. In this video, I'll let you in on the secrets that helped me go from $225,000 of student loans to self-made millionaire. Okay, so let's get right into it. The first thing I stopped doing was chasing pennies. Most people believe that exchanging time for money is the only way to make money. The typical work 40 hours and you get paid for 40 hours. The only issue with this is you can't scale. You're tied to your employment and the number of hours you can physically work without getting burnt out. And because of this, we put so much value on that money. Go over budget this month, well, you have to work longer next month to make up for it. And working longer means less time at home, less time with friends. You can't binge watch that new TV show everyone's talking about. And this is the mentality that I used to have. After graduating from law school, I went straight to working for a law firm where I'd be working 100-hour weeks. Because I had over $200,000 of student loans to pay off, I would do just about anything to save $5. I'd even walk 30 minutes to work in my suit instead of paying a few dollars for the bus. This is something I learned from my parents. One of my earliest memories about money is my dad buying a soda from a vending machine for about 50 cents back then. We were at the military base, he put the money into the machine, clicked the button, and the soda didn't budge. The 50 cents was gone and we had no soda. So instead of admitting defeat and trying another machine, he went on a mission to get his 50 cents back. He called the number on the vending machine, talked with them for what felt like hours, and then we drove around the entire base trying to figure out how to get back his 50 cents. I think in part because of memories like that and being just raised to live very frugally, I never saw the other side of the equation, which is how do I make each hour of my time worth more? And when I decided my goal was to make $1 million in 1 year, I backtracked and calculated what I'd have to make hourly to make $1 million. I worked out that my hourly rate needs to be around $480 based on a 40-hour work week. Once I had that number in my head, I decided to turn down any work that didn't pay me $480 an hour or more. It also gave me an easy target to see whether I was on track or not. If I make less than $480, I'm not on track. And this meant that if there's something that I can outsource for less than $480 an hour, then I should outsource it. This was hard for me at first since everything I was outsourcing was something I knew I could do. I saw this most in my company, Plug-in Law, where we help people with the legal aspects of their business, like forming an LLC. Well, the reality is I can form an LLC for free myself, but it wouldn't be worth $480 an hour. And if I did, it would have consumed all my time and I wouldn't be free to scale the business. I'd just be working on operations. So I reluctantly hired other lawyers to cover this, but it's been one of the best things I've ever done and has allowed Plug-in Law to scale way faster than I would have ever imagined. I also applied this to this YouTube channel. In the beginning, I hired a videographer to film a bunch of videos of me around Tokyo, footage that I'm still using even now. I also hired video editors and thumbnail designers. All of these things I knew I could do myself, but if I did, I wouldn't be able to reach that $480 an hour mark. And this was a massive change for me, to pay people to do things that I could have done for free on my own. Effectively, I learned how to make my money work for me instead of exchanging my time for it. The next one is letting go of what others think. I used to let social pressure and my perception of what others wanted me to do to dictate my life. Even things like going to law school. I'm really not sure if I did it for myself or if I did it because I thought it would make my parents proud. And unfortunately, I went through many years of my life carrying that mentality. I was constantly trying to please others and was scared I would embarrass myself if I didn't. In the back of my head, I was always seeking their approval. To become a millionaire, one of the very conscious habits that I had to change was to stop thinking about what others thought of me. Starting on YouTube really helped me with this. In the beginning, I was embarrassed to do it because I knew that people would judge me and I knew that other lawyers wouldn't take me seriously. Being on camera was also out of my comfort zone, but I had to let go of what others thought. Now, of course, I'm really happy that I did. If I hadn't, I wouldn't be in front of a camera right now talking to you. Another example is starting Plug and Law. With any business, you have to start from zero. I thought others would probably see it as a silly side project and no one would take it seriously. And the first few months were hard because I was making close to $0. And going from being a full-time corporate lawyer with a cushy salary to making $0 for months was difficult. Right after I quit, I made a video about my goal of creating $200,000 of passive income starting from zero. When I did the 3-month update, my grand total in the first 3 months was $587. Putting myself out there and admitting that I hadn't made much progress was something my old self would have never had the courage to do. But I had to let go of other people's opinions and my own pride. The next thing I did was to apply this quote to my life. If you're the smartest person in the room, you're in the wrong room. I try to follow this philosophy for every aspect of my life now. I want to be surrounded by people who I admire and can learn from. For YouTube, I talk to friends like Andre Geek and Graham Stephan to get their insight on what's working on YouTube. Recently, Andre helped me to think through how to use YouTube Shorts for my channel. The benefit of surrounding yourself with people you admire is it allows you to see what's within the realm of possibility. I remember when I was making $0, I saw people who were making $10,000 a month online and was just in awe. It made me realize that was possible. Then, when I got to the $10,000 mark, I saw people making $100,000 a month and I couldn't believe it. But it made me realize that that too was possible. And then, once I got there, I saw people who were making $1 million a month, which I thought was only possible if you're a hedge fund manager or the CEO of a Fortune 500 company. And that really opened my eyes up further, that maybe if they could do it, I could too. And those are the kinds of people I'm surrounding myself with intentionally now because it opens my eyes up. It's inspiring. There's so much you can learn from being around people who are just a few steps ahead of you. Now, before I get to the next thing I stopped doing, to be a millionaire, you need to be pretty good with your time. And one of the tools that helps me to be more efficient is called Loom. I absolutely love it, so I'll quickly show you how it works. If you want to record your screen or just you talking, you'll just click this button up here and decide whether you want to show your face or do screen only, and then hit record. Then, once I'm finished recording, it instantly generates a link for me that I can send to anyone who needs to see the video. I've been using it for the last year almost every day. I use it to train new team members. And as a lawyer, sometimes if I want to explain something in a contract or answer legal questions, rather than type it out in a long, wordy email, it's just much easier to send my clients a Loom. I've also used it to give feedback to students from my Mastering YouTube course. And Loom just added a great feature where you can trim and add clips. So if I need to add something to a video I already recorded, I can easily do that by clicking Add Clip. Funny story, I love Loom so much that I actually pitched Loom to see if they'd be interested in partnering by sending them a Loom. If you're ready to start being more productive and efficient with your time, you can get Loom for free now by going to loom.com/Erika. I'll also put the link in the description for you. Thanks, Loom, for sponsoring this video, and now we're gonna get back to that next millionaire habit. The fourth thing I stopped doing was pursuing active income. From a young age, we're taught that if we do this chore, then our parents will give us this reward. Or if we mow our neighbor's lawn for an hour, they'll give us a couple of dollars. And the same goes for jobs. You work 40 hours a week and get paid for those 40 hours. Work more hours and make more money. But when you stop working, the money stops coming in. So to create something where your income isn't tied to the number of hours you work, you have to build passive income and build businesses where there's no direct correlation between the number of hours you're putting in and the amount of money you make. The one con of passive income is it usually doesn't come instantly. There's a long build-up process and a lot of work involved before you see a return. So when I set out to create passive income, I learned that I needed to be patient with results. The most concrete example I have for you is when I started making my Mastering YouTube course. I wanted to make it as comprehensive as possible, and it needed to be something that I was proud of and knew would help a lot of people. So because of that, it took over a month to make, and I wasn't making any money during that time. But because I focused my attention on building this asset, once it was made, it could bring in passive income for me. I still make some updates to it, but it's mostly passive income at this point. Now, the fifth thing I stopped doing was focusing on shallow work. In Cal Newport's book, Deep Work, he outlines two types of work: deep work and shallow work. Newport refers to shallow work as non-cognitively demanding, logistical-style tasks often performed while distracted. These efforts tend to not create new value in the world and are easy to replicate. These are things like replying to emails, looking at websites, using social media, filling out forms, and sitting passively in meetings. They're basically mindless tasks, and that's the problem with them. If you focus too much on replying to random messages or sitting in boring meetings, then when it comes to doing your actual work, you don't have the energy to do it. Or if you do, your productivity is slumped. We've all been there. You're writing something really important, you're on a roll, the words are just flying out, and then you get a text. Suddenly you stop what you're doing to look at the message. Whether you reply or not, your train of focus is momentarily gone. And some studies have shown that it takes around 25 minutes to refocus. That's a lot of time you're losing every day. So what Cal Newport recommends is focusing on deep work instead of this shallow work. In his words, deep work is professional activities performed in a state of distraction-free concentration that push your cognitive capabilities to their limit. These efforts create new value, improve your skill, and are hard to replicate. This is basically where you shut off all distractions and focus on the work that only you can do. And you don't need to go away for a 2-week writing retreat in the woods. You can start small at first. All you need to do is schedule blocks in your day where you turn off all notifications and distractions and focus on one task. Once I started doing this, I found a massive increase in my productivity and my ability to get work done. Before learning this, I used to run my business in this old framework, holding meetings, replying to everyone's messages whenever I saw them, and expecting the same from my employees. But once I learned the importance of undisrupted deep work, I started scheduling times of the day when I reply to everyone. Instead of hour-long meetings, I started just sending 2-minute Loom recordings to whoever I needed to talk to. And by doing this, I noticed that I was getting my work done faster, and in turn, that allowed me to get even more work done within a day. Be sure to download Loom by going to loom.com/Erika and check out my next video about the millionaire habits I adopted that helped me to become a millionaire, which I'll link right over here. See you there!